So you want to get into the real estate industry. Congratulations. Well, in today's video, we're going to go over everything you need to consider if you are going to get into this real estate industry, or if you want to even waste your time at all. By the time you're ending this video, you're going to know exactly what you need to be thinking about to make an educated decision. Starting with why you do not want to get into the industry. I'm going to give you 5 reasons. Then we're going to go into the reasons why you want to get into the real estate industry. I'm going to give you 5 reasons, and then I'm going to go deeper into how do you start the process in picking the right brokerage and going down the path of being able to have success in this industry with the goals that you have in mind. Okay, so first and foremost, let's go into why you would not want to get into this industry. Number 1, no clear direction depending on the broker you decide to go with, so you can have success in your real estate industry. Yes, that's correct. I can't tell you how many different brokerages are out there that just want bodies. They want you to join their brokerage, especially smaller brokerages that don't have SOPs, standard operating procedures, key performance indicators, KPIs, to help you focus on income producing activities. So if you're gonna get in the industry, make sure you find the right brokerage, and I'm gonna show you later in this video how to find the right brokerage that's actually gonna give you support. Number 2, long hours with a schedule that can be all over the place. That's nights, that's weekends, that's not a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, depending on if you specifically are going to set a goal to work deliberate hours. See, your clients within this industry will have you working nights and weekends because they work 9 to 5. So if they work 9 to 5, then you're gonna have to work 5 to 9 or on Saturday and Sunday. If you don't like that, then real estate might not be for you. Not to say that is forever, that type of schedule, but just to say that's something for you to take in consideration, because that is a factor in the business. When you first get in, you're gonna have to put in long hours with a random schedule, and you're gonna have to work nights and weekends. If you don't like that, then maybe real estate isn't for you. Number 3, no paycheck for the first 3 months. On average, in the real estate industry, agents don't get paid their first commission check for the first 3 months. So if you're used to going in and working a 9 to 5 and getting paid hourly and having a check weekly or bi-weekly, this is not going to be an actual industry you're going to want to get into, because you could be working for 3+ months and find yourself with no potential paycheck. Not that you can't have a closing the first 30, 60, or 90 days. It's just less likely unless you do the legwork, you're doing the networking, and you already speak with friends and family and potentially your SOI, your sphere of influence, the people that you already know and they already like and trust you, to potentially line a deal up as soon as you get into the industry. So I would highly recommend that you at least have 3 months worth of a nest egg, maybe even 6 months, going from the job that you're currently at and leveraging that savings until you can get your first client and first deal under contract to get your first commission check. So if getting paid not for the first 3 months isn't for you, then real estate might not be your industry. Number 4, lots of emails and lots of phone calls soliciting you for your business. That is correct. I don't know how many emails real estate professionals have, but I'll tell you what, I've seen lots of emails from our clients that have thousands of emails over the years, and they technically don't even check the actual emails because of how much spam comes through, because a lot of service providers, whether it's website service providers or it's calling service providers or technology service providers or social media and marketing and coaching service providers, they see real estate professionals as an amazing opportunity to sell them something, because if you don't already know, which you probably don't unless you're already in the industry and you're watching this video, agents have the bright shiny syndrome, and that's where they see something at an event, or they get a phone call, or they get a text message, or they get an email from a vendor, and someone in their office said, you gotta try this new tool. Then they go off and they use this new tool. So just be prepared for emails, calls, and texts from vendors and individuals wanting to offer you services. Now, not a bad idea to go through the email and actually see if the service is in line with what you're looking for. And it's okay to go through that process instead of just completely X-naying every single service that comes across your desk, because these are individuals that are starting businesses that want to be of service, but just be prepared for that. And number 5, lots of different marketing approaches from you to test and for you to pick from. You have traditional marketing, whether it's making phone calls for sold by owners, expired listings, going out and doing door knocking, sending out mailers, reaching out to your SOI, your sphere of influence, all the way to social media marketing, to passive prospecting with, say, YouTube. And if you can't pick one lane and you're going to be all over the place, don't get into this real estate industry, because you will be like 90% of the agents out there that only do 10% of the business. They're picking one lane, one marketing approach to have success within that specific lane. And what happens is a lot of real estate professionals, they don't go deep enough with one specific marketing approach to actually see it bear fruit, to then be able to maybe pivot and try another marketing approach. So if you can't stay focused on the one thing, and if you try multiple different marketing strategies, your 3 months of savings will run out really quick, and it could easily force you to get out of the business, like 80% of the agents that get into the business and actually do not stay in the business. A true fact, half of the licensed real estate professionals in the state of Arizona, where I'm located, don't even transact and only hold a license. So those are 5 things I want you to think about. And if they are a deterrent, then maybe this video is over for you right now and don't continue. But if you want to continue on this video, I'm now going to go over the 5 reasons why you want to get in the business. And then I'm going to go into the deeper brass tacks of how specifically getting in this industry, you need to navigate picking the right brokerage that's going to be suitable to your goals, so you can have success with this process. And that's exactly why Liftoff Agent is here. All right, let's go ahead and get into why would you want to get in to this real estate industry. Number 1, flexible schedule. So yes, you might be working nights and you might work weekends, but you have flexible schedule. And if you actually set up a calendar, something like Google Calendar and Calendly.com, that's what I use, then you can block things off on your calendar, and you can actually have more flexibility with your schedule and control of your schedule, instead of bending over backwards and letting your clients control your schedule, where you're working based off of their every beck and call. So if you like flexible schedules, might be a reason why you want to get in this industry. Number 2, no cap on how much money you can make. It's an endless amount of opportunity to make as much money as you possibly can imagine within real estate. And if you can dial in your systems, you can be able to make upwards of $38 million a year. That's 3% of 38 million would be your commission. One of our clients, Zach, who's going to be in DFW, he's about to be featured on Real Estate vs. Technology. You can check out his podcast episode. He's with us here at Liftoff Agent. All the way to clients that are doing $300 million in business in multiple different marketing lanes, that are one lane that they're focusing on is with us at Liftoff Agent, to be able to maximize passive prospecting. So if you like the idea of no cap as far as your income and the ceiling of what you can make, then real estate might just be for you. Number 3 kind of goes with number 1, but making your own schedule. Time blocking, putting on your calendar, making your own schedule, and working anytime that you see fit. That's going to work for you, and it's going to work for your business. So something to take in consideration as you go through the process of being able to get in this business is enjoying the flexibility of your schedule. So if you like a flexible schedule and you can make it as you wish, real estate might just be for you. Number 4, over time, you can build a team, whether it's a team where you are going to be the mentor, the coach of the organization, and then you have listing specialists and buyer specialists, and then you have a team from that perspective as a traditional model, or you join a cloud-based brokerage and build a downline. There's passive residual income opportunities that you can leverage from the perspective of being in real estate after you have a certain level of success, which we're going to talk about this a little bit later, and then you can be able to build that team. And last but not least, it's the passive prospecting opportunities with cloud-based brokerages, which also ties in with number 2, which is going to be no cap on your income. So those are the 5 reasons why I would get into real estate, and some things to think about. Keep on watching, because now we want to go into specifically what you need to be thinking about by picking the right brokerage, taking the next steps after you pass your real estate exam, because you're gonna have high highs, you're gonna have low lows. And if I can save you some time from the beginning perspective of getting into the industry after you pass your test and the brokerage to go with, and aligning that with your goals, then we're gonna do the best we can in this video, by the end of the video, do just that, so you can make the right educated decision. what I would recommend is interviewing 6 different brokerages, 3 cloud-based brokerages and 3 traditional brokerages. And stay with me. Now, when you think about traditional brokerages, you're going to have like Keller Williams, you're going to have Coldwell Banker, you're going to have Remax. Like those are going to be some big ones and some traditional brokerages, okay? And you want to make sure that when you talk with these different brokerages, the traditional brokerages, asking them what type of support do they give you? What type of training do they have within the organization? What's a training schedule look like? Can you actually leverage the opportunity of working with a top performer in your office to be able to shadow? And can you get help with the contracts? Can you get help with the open house events? Can you get help with scripting? And can you be able to be around or be able to shadow someone who's going to be in your specific lane that you want to be in? So you really need to ask yourself, what type of marketing do you want to do? Do you want to be a social agent and get on video and do YouTube and passive prospecting like I'm doing here? Or do you want to be a traditional agent and do you want to do the door knocking? Do you want to go do the calls on the FSBOs, for sale by owners, and the expired listings? Because a lot of times when you first get in the business, it's reach out to your sphere of influence, and then you do a lot of the cold calls to build the pipeline and go from there, okay? Also within the brokerage, you may want to potentially join a team. And if you join the team, then you can be fed leads and then you can get that support from that specific team from a traditional brokerage. Now, let's talk about the cloud-based brokerages. Now, this is not a brokerage where you have an office like a traditional brokerage. This is going to be like EXP, Real, or LPT. These are going to be 3 cloud-based brokerages you could check out. You could interview all 3 of them. And you can find out what their tools are, what their systems are, what their exposure is in your specific market, and potentially what team do you want to join? Because technically you don't have to join a team in a cloud-based brokerage, but you will have an upline and you will be joining, say, a person within a brokerage or within a team within the cloud-based brokerage that you'll be under. Now, you don't have to be a part of their team, you just have to be a part of their downline and they're going to be your sponsor on the upline. So as an example, if you join EXP and you join a sponsor and then you want to change sponsors, you have to leave EXP for a certain amount of time. I think it's like 24 months before you can go back to EXP and pick another sponsor. So make sure that you're choosing wisely when you go through this process of picking the brokerage and asking all of the questions that come up for you. Okay, so be intuitive, write down your goals, take what you learned from this video, and then compile the questions that you want to ask based off your goals and based off of what you want from the perspective of support. I think the biggest thing is support and making sure that you have help so that way you can get your needs met. The next thing you want to think about when it comes to picking the right brokerage, whether it's a traditional brokerage or a cloud-based brokerage, is you want to go deeper into what does it look like when working with that specific team or that brokerage day in and day out. Now, the next thing you want to think about is building your own brand. Now, technically, people buy from someone they know, like, and trust, which is going to be you. Your face is your brand. And if you want to do a logo and you want to do merch and you want to have stickers and you want to put them on a water bottle cool like this, or you want to put stickers on like a phone like this, then you're going to want to think about joining a brokerage that also doesn't pigeonhole you without having the opportunity of being able to brand yourself. Now, Sotheby's International Realty, they're very strict about branding and about co-branding from the brokerage. And then did you know is that if you're going to not have your name as your brand, then you're going to have to get a DBA, doing business as, outside of just the brokerage. And so the brokerage is going to have to approve this, and you're going to want to make sure the brokerage is going to support that process. And if you know of a team that's already going through that process, then you are good to go. Now, the last thing I want to talk about in this whole entire process is I want you to make sure that you understand that each brokerage is going to give you tools. They're going to give you a website, they're going to give you a CRM system, they're going to give you tools. If you go from one broker to another broker, and that brokerage you go with, especially a traditional brokerage, they don't understand cloud-based, they don't do the rev share. I'm not saying that as a negative to anyone who's watching that has that type of establishment. I'm just talking based off of what I've seen over 11 years and 16,000 agents plus met and meeting with these independent brokers. 9 times out of 10, that's what I see. What I would recommend is your own website, your own CRM system, and your own back-end support tools. You could use the support tools of the brokers when you first get started, but then after you start having a couple of deals, put some cash aside, use that cash to buy your own tools like Follow Up Boss, like Google Calendar, like Calendly.com. Those are 3 good tools to be using, like a Liftoff Agent, shameless plug, website. So then you can have the social media, the YouTube channel, the video blogs, the YouTube videos, thumbnail copy editing, the listing promotion, all happening on autopilot. So then you can keep on doing your passive prospecting, filming your videos, or going through the process of what you're going to be doing just in general. So these are all things I want you to take in consideration, starting all the way from the beginning, as far as like, now you know why you don't want to get in the business, you know why you'd want to get in the business. Think about all these things, these key performance indicators. Take control of your business before the business takes control of you, and be careful about joining a team or a brokerage that gives you leads, because it'd be very easy for you to depend on those leads and get off of the drip, because you're so used to just like getting the leads and you're on this trip. And so be careful about that, okay? Like, comment, biggest takeaway, put it down, and then subscribe. We have new videos like this that go out every single Tuesday to help you be able to make educated, informed decisions, whether it's online marketing, passive prospecting, picking the right brokerage. We want to make sure you're set up for success. And if I could save you some pain and get you on the right track for success, it's a win-win for all parties. Also, if you do want to set up a no obligation strategy call because you can't afford our services, liftoffagent.com, check out pricing so you understand what you're getting yourself into before you even set up a call with us. Even if you can't afford us, we're not going to high pressure you on nothing. So you could still set up a meeting so we can get you on the right track. I'm going to do you a solid. If you set up a strategy call, you want to use our services, I'm going to give you 15% off. Just say that Mr. Liftoff said so. I hope that was helpful. God bless. Take care.